Even if they do fill the barge up, it's around about 500 young male migrants, and we have 170,000 asylum seekers all over the country staying in hotels, waiting to be processed. So this is not a solution, it's a headline. However, you're right about the people of Portland, a tiny little community. There's only 12,000 people there. They're not being racist. They're just saying, look, we got one copper, we got one GP, and you're going to foist 500 unemployed young men into our midst.
Who can come and go, and I likened it this morning to the same situation with housing. I see politicians on all sides of every political divide saying, we need more houses. Starmer's going to build more houses. And I bet you any money, when it comes to it, when you vote for it, all the people in the constituencies do not want to know. The people of Portland, or Oregon, Portland, Dorset, they don't want this. They don't want it.
These are live pictures of the Stockholm today. We gather that by the end of the day, there'll be a significant number of migrants on board. And of course, this is the longest running saga since Crossroads, isn't it? I mean, it was way back in the summer that they only got about 39 maximum on board. Then there was Legionnaire's disease.
But I mean, there's the thing. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to say this this morning. You know, we talk about the Home Office being not fit for purpose. They can't even provide a barge that doesn't have water, that isn't infected by Legion. It's a PR disaster. You say it's a headline. If that's the headline, mate, the rest of it's I can't even, it's beyond me. I don't understand. How's that an answer?
It's just ridiculous. And by the way, of course, lefties have got involved with this.
Of course.
This barge has been in commission for more than 50 years.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I think it's registered in somewhere like Barbados, but it's been all over the world. Usually, it has housed migrants before, but usually it's construction workers. It spent 2 years in Holland with 500 construction workers on board. It has never, ever had a fire. It arrives in Britain. Fire chiefs say, this is a floating Grenfell. Guess what? Migrants can't go on board. This is the forces of the left trying to screw up this scheme. But I don't mind the idea of screwing up this scheme, because this scheme is a delusion. It's trying to tell us that the government's getting tough. We're going to put them on barges.
Does that not embarrass you that the best they can come up with, right, is a barge that, you know, might catch fire, might have Legionnaire's disease, they'll find every excuse. But then I go back to the numbers. Kev, we're talking 500 at most. There's 170,000 of these people who are somewhere in this country, right? And don't even anybody start telling me they are all there because they're leaving war-torn countries. It's really simple. Do you know, a bloke said to me the other night, I said I wouldn't do this on telly, I get into trouble, and he was decrying that he'd been through this terrible divorce and he'd lost everything. And I said to him, have you got 100 quid? And he said, I have. Why? I said, I'll tell you what you should do. Buy a standard ticket on the Eurostar to Paris. Buy yourself a dinghy for 30 quid. No, but it's true. No wonder the people in this country are angry and frustrated, because they pay their taxes. They've worked, that lady in Portland's worked all her life, or people, jams in the north, who basically can't even afford to pay their bills, and if they can, they're struggling. Oh, it's all right, let's come to this country and get our backsides wiped. It's not good. It's not right.
And you know, the scandal of Portland is the people of Portland, the poor people of Portland, have never, ever been consulted about this. They were never asked. It was just imposed upon them. And they say, surely in a democracy, we have the right of consultation. They didn't get it. And do you know what powers the government is using to impose these barges? They want to get about 9 more around the country. They're using powers they gave themselves during the COVID crisis to override local objections.
Brilliant.
So this is dictatorial, tyrannical, and nothing more than a sticking plaster over a massive scar just to attract some good headlines. But look, we're not putting migrants in hotels anymore. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, floating hotels, which aren't safe. I'm not bothered. Don't get me wrong, I'm not getting into that debate. What I'm saying is, if that is your idea, if you want to turn the British public, right, who are fed up to the back, everybody says to me, no, they're not. Yes, they damn well are. If you want to convince the British public that you are serious about dealing with this problem, it's not a floating barge. It's getting a processing system that deals with 170,000 bloody quickly and says, if you're illegal, you can do one because we can't afford you. But we don't have that system. I don't understand it. I don't, Kev.
Yeah, this is, as I say, 500 young men are going to go onto this boat.
Oh, there's a gym there. That's all right, then.
A bar, a gym, a snooker table. They're going to have a nice time. It's quite nice. It's nice accommodation. The government says this is the solution. Meanwhile, in hotels, 500 hotels all over the country are packed with 170,000 migrants. This is merely to get good headlines. It's nonsense.
But there sums up short-sighted government, because they only plan for 5 years because they get elected out. That's what most people would admit to. That's, in going for a good headline, you've created an even worse headline.
Yeah,
That's the irony of it.
They have. This has been an ongoing
Disaster.
floating catastrophe for the government. But once again, let us know what you think.